Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3449. Today's date is 12th of June 2025. It's been almost like morning at 7:23 a.m. It's a morning, yeah, but there is no like there is nothing really at all. Nothing means like that. Ki there is no wind, there is no sunlight. Cloudy, but okay. Should we jump into question? All right, yeah. Okay, question is what money related number should I keep an eye on early on my business? Okay, yeah. Okay, so what exactly is this? Okay, so this is kind of like some question regarding about business and business strategy. Why I am asking this question to myself is because of that ki want to I want to kind of like a something I want to do business in the future. I wanted to establish a startup and I don't know nothing really about business. I don't know nothing really about running any business and things like that. Asking these questions to me to get understand little bit about what would I supposed to be face in the future. So that's why I'm kind of like asking these questions. So I aware of all those situations that will gonna happen, and also I have to be prepared for things will gonna come. Okay, so this is question is about business. Now question is that ki uh, what kind of like a money related number should I supposed to be aware of that? What is actually money related number? Profit, loss, okay, and these are kind of like some numbers are really essential. I am not really good with the number. Yeah, like I don't really understand the number properly. Like I am a YouTuber, by the way, okay, and I can't even understand the analytics. Okay, yeah, you just like if you showing me analytics of my channel, yeah, throughout the graph, I might gonna understand little bit, but just I don't know. It just like the number is a kind of like a somebody just um, always kind of like a something that I don't want to understand. Yeah, like I want to like yeah I don't want to understand. It is that thing. Okay, because uh, it's not that he kind of like something I don't understand. Yeah, I do understand, but it just like I don't want to. Yeah, I just I don't want to because it just kind of like a something just number is like nothing really make any sense. I just don't really understand the realistic point of perspective because in my entire period of lifetime I am a kind of like a somebody creative person. Okay, I understand the gravity of the situation. I think through little bit of emotions, but number is a kind of like a thing that ki I'm not really good at. Okay, yeah, I just like can't really understand. Yeah, throughout the graph I might understand ki this is that, this is that, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. But dude, now you if you wanted to establish a startup, you really need to make sure that understand the numbers like profit and loss. No, I understand. Like a don't really think me as a kind of like a somebody that I don't know. I understand like how much profit is it, how much loss it is. Okay, and yeah. But why this thing is really matter? Yeah, like why this number is really matter? Well, it gives you it's a kind of like a something health report of your business. Oh yeah, it's just like if your health report is good, then your business is expand, your business is grow, your business is earning money, and in the end, it will all better for everyone. Okay, yeah. If your number is not good, then probably your business is not really good. But I don't really think that way. Yeah, I don't really think that way. Just like number is not my priority. Yeah, like yeah, it is a priority. Yeah, it's just like I can't deny the fact that number is really important, but it's like that na ki I making sure that the experience of the services that I'm providing is good, is great. Customer satisfaction, I'm a bit more kind of like a simply focus on how does customer feels while using my services or product or things like that. That is more value to me, that is add more value to me instead of numbers. Okay, yeah. And I also realize that ki if as a owner who is owner or kind of like a somebody chairman of the person or CEO of the person, CEO of the company, he is always kind of like a always kind of like a looking at the number and things like that, then probably that particular person will always be kind of like a looking at the number, that's it. Okay, yeah, and he don't really taking care of that ki how does your product is good or not, or things or something like that. Like I know that ki number is the exact representation of how much good value that you are providing or not. Okay, yeah. Let's just example. Okay, I am a tech nerd little bit, so you might little bit understand, but okay, yeah, might not, but yeah. Um, in 2024, there is a Samsung. Samsung is a company who launched the mobile phone named Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Okay, yeah. Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, it was one of the really amazing phone. Yeah, the AI capability, the things that phone can do with AI is what it was mind blowing. Yeah, it was like a crazy experience. Yeah, but when the a Samsung Galaxy S25 launch, okay, the next generation, it is not really that in buzz. Yeah, like basically it just thinks that na ki when I see the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, it always kind of like a, somebody want me to use this phone because this phone is like a really incredible, really amazing, really great. Wow. Okay, yeah. But when I see Samsung Galaxy S25, yeah, like from visual point of perspective and everything is really good, but it's not really that great. Yeah, like from like the eager to require to want me to this phone is little less than Samsung Galaxy S24 because Samsung Galaxy S24 is a kind of the phone that I want to use. Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is little less I want to use. Okay, yeah. Why this thing is actually happened is because of that ki in 2024 artificial intelligence is kind of like a something very new, kind of like a something that ki like really hot topic. Okay, yeah. And the phone can do all the AI task is kind of like a something really new. So at that time, Samsung Galaxy S24 is a kind of like a phone that can do anything with AI capability and things like that. So that's why it's kind of like a, somebody one of the most selling point of this phone. In S25, they have all this capability of all the AI feature and things like that, even more than that. But why S25 is not really that much eager to buy is because of that key till the age of 2025 everyone knows AIs and things like that. So the eager to require to want to AI phone in 2024 is much more than 2025. So that's why the enthusiasm required to buy AI phone in 2025 is little less. So that's why it just in 2025 when Samsung launched S25 Ultra, it didn't really kind of like a want me to buy this phone. It didn't really kind of like a somebody eager me to have this phone. Nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. So what I am kind of like a somebody explaining in this context is that ki um customer, what exactly I want, what exactly a customer want, what exactly my relation with my product or with my services. Okay, yeah, this is what I care about. if I just looking out the number and things like that, like S25 Ultra sell this millions of sold, and S25 is not less, like it's not selling that much, then probably just like, no, okay, a number is like a, yeah, I know, yeah, it's not really that ki number is not really good. Number is like a really, it's a health report of your business. It's a really essential document that you should supposed to be know regarding about every point and this and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. um but it's just like that na ki as a kind of like a somebody chairman na, as a kind of like a somebody person, I I am literally focused on kind of like a something like that key, making sure the experience of the customer is as good as possible as I can. Okay, yeah. Like like basically, if the person is actually using my app, I wanted to make sure that person kind of like gain some sort of values when he person recording the artifact or kind of like a listening someone artifact. That person should supposed to gain some sort of value, and I want this thing. I want that kind of like a somebody customer satisfaction. Okay, yeah. Um, if I just looking at the number now, so my focus will be changed. Okay, yeah, and my only focus is kind of like a something rely on number, and I always kind of like a thinking that key, what should I supposed to do to increase the number and things like that. Then I'm gonna use some sort of like a dirty technique to kind of like expand my business and things like that. And there are so many dirty techniques are available in the expanding business, like a faking it or kind of like a doing something nasty things or something like that. And it just like, I don't know, it's not really that kind of like a something resonate with me that not that much. Like I don't know. Okay, yeah. So regarding about numbers now, it just like it just like yeah, I just like can't really understand that much. Yeah. So when I will kind of like a something, when I will gonna establish my business or things like that, I will gonna hire a person who is really good with the number. Okay, yeah. And basically he would gonna tell me that key is my business is going good or not. Okay, yeah. And what kind of like a stuff am I doing so which makes person like it or customer like it, or what kind of like a stuff that I'm doing that customer don't really like it. Just tell me that thing. Okay, tell me what kind of like a things that I do to matter to the people or not matter to the people. Okay, yeah. Like this is really matter to me. Okay, instead of just numbers. Okay, yeah. I know number is really essential, really important parameter of the business and things like that. Like let me tell you one thing. I am a content creator. Yeah, I am create the content regarding about the graphic designing. Okay, yeah. Right now I have 1,500 something subscriber. Okay, not really that much big deal. Okay, yeah. I'm not really earning any money by the way. YouTube is actually providing me all those analytical feature regarding about which video is actually going well, which video is not going well, everything. Okay, yeah. It just like, I just can't really understand that number. Okay, I just, yeah. But dude, this is the really wrong now. Like if you can't really understand the number, then probably how do you supposed to grow your business? Because number is really essential. I know, but it's just like that key, like I need a kind of like a person to tell me what is actually the meaning of this number. Okay, yeah. Because it just, I can't understand this thing. I just can't understand the, like I understand the graphical representation of a profit and loss. Yeah, it just like, I'm not really that stupid, I do understand that. But just tell, I just kind of like a something, I need a kind of like a somebody person who kind of like a simplify this me in kind of like a very simple language. And I think that person would be my CFO. Okay, yeah, a CFO kind of like a person who handles all those financial and accounting thing. That would be kind of like something really helpful for me to, yeah, because I would be kind of like a bit more focus on kind of like a something customer satisfaction. The customer, what does they want and what kind of like a something am I offering them to make it good or not. Okay, yeah. In my case, I am kind of like offering as an artifact, like a people are kind of like a somebody express their thoughts and things like that. So I have to bit more focus on that key. How do I supposed to make their kind of like experience as good as possible as I can. Okay, yeah. How do I supposed to make sure how a key, what kind of like a values they are getting from my product and service or what. Okay, so this is what I bit more focus on that. Okay, yeah. But still, as a kind of like assembly chairman, as a kind of like a person, I have to be aware of some sort of number. Okay, let's talk about the profit. Okay, yeah. So what is actually profit, and how do I supposed to kind of like gain profit? Okay, in my, like, if I run the business, how does I will gonna earn money? Okay, yeah. So regarding about my application, I already mentioned regarding about what is actually my app, but still, my application is actually about a kind of like a something the people will gonna express their thoughts and things like that. It's a kind of like a something a social media channel where people would kind of like express their thoughts, but without knowing them who is that person. Like a privacy is kind of like a something make sure that the person shouldn't supposed to be, other person shouldn't supposed to be know who is that particular person. And yeah, so this is kind of like a something my app and things like that, while people kind of like a share their thoughts and things like that in audio format, like a things that you are actually hearing right now. Yeah. How do I supposed to earn money? Well, I mostly earn money from the person will kind of like a listen the artifact. When the person will gonna listen the artifact, in between that, I'm gonna kind of like a put the advertisement. Okay, yeah, and I will gonna earn money from that advertisement. Kind of like somebody YouTube does it. Okay, yeah. So same thing that I wanted to do. Okay, yeah. But there is also one thing that I wanted to talk, that I wanted to kind of like a something, my UI is as minimalistic as possible as I can. Okay, yeah. Integrating advertisement in my application is a kind of like a something unminimalistic. Yeah. Like there are a lot of feature that advertisement is kind of like making it like a, yeah, like let's just take an example as a YouTube ad page and things like that. It has a lot of pop-up and things like that. So I don't know, should I supposed to do it or not, I'm not really sure, but I have to make sure that whatever the design that I wanted to make to kind of like a run little bit of ads in my application, I have to make sure that it should supposed to be look like a kind of like a some integration of the application. Okay, it shouldn't supposed to look like kind of like a something very different and things like that. No. Also, I wanted to include the skip button too. Okay, yeah, because I don't want to be kind of like a something people will interrupt the what they are kind of like a thinking and things stuff like that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, kind of like a something YouTube. Yeah. So this is how I kind of like earn money from this advertisement and things like that. Okay, yeah. If the people are don't want to kind of like experience this advertisement and things like that, they will gonna buy the premiere. Okay, yeah, premier package. When they buy the premier package, means like that the every month they will gonna kind of like a simply subscribe my platform, that they will not gonna see any ads and things like that, and I will gonna earn money from their subscription. So this is the kind of like a simply the money that I will gonna earn from my application. All right, yeah. Now how is exactly profit? Okay, yeah. So profit is actually happen when whatever the money required to build that particular platform or things like that, and whatever the money that I am earning from that particular period of time. Like example, let's just say January 2025. So 1st January 2025 to 28th January 2025, from these 28 days. Okay, I'm taking 28 days. Okay, yeah, because like if I wanted to calculate the money and things like that, usually it takes 28 days. Okay, yeah, 28 day or 29 day, I'm not really sure, but let's just say 28 days. Okay, yeah, in this 28 day means like that there are 4 months. Okay, yeah, in 28 day that means 4 months. So in the sorry, in 4 weeks, sorry, 4 weeks, and in the 4 weeks, whatever the money that required to build that particular product. Okay, yeah, and whatever the money that I earn within the 4 weeks, I need to compare that thing. Okay, yeah, and I need to kind of like a something difference between, like I need to kind of like a something minus this thing, like whatever the profit that I earn and whatever the kind of like a something cost is required to make that profit and things like that. Okay, I wanted to make sure the difference between that particular number should supposed to be positive. Okay, yeah, it just example is this thing. Let's just say that in the 4 weeks I earn almost like a 1 lakh rupees. Okay, yeah, and the cost it required to me to kind of like somebody make that profit is almost like a 70,000 rupees. So that means seven sorry sorry 40,000 rupees. Okay, yeah, say Okay, yeah, 70,000 rupees. Then probably 30,000 rupees is my profit. Okay, yeah, and this is the positive. Okay, 30,000 rupees is my positive. If I am kind of like a gaining profit of almost like a maybe 70,000 rupees, but I am like a cost required to make that profit is almost like a 1 lakh rupees, then my profit is in loss. Like I am kind of like a earning in minus 30, means like that ki I just have to kind of like a paid some sort of amount of money before the previous things and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, so the profit and loss is always gonna happen, like a sometime it goes sometime, because the it cost means like that how much, basically I just have to analyze like how much it cost for me to build that profit and things like that. Like I have to give the salary to the people, I have to be pay some sort of rent or building rent or kind of like a whatever it is. Okay, yeah, then there are some sort of like a services required me to run my things, run my application, like AI services, online services, or kind of like a data, people will gonna record the artifact where that data will gonna save the data center and things like that. So this money is always be there. Okay, yeah. uh, if I wanted to increase the profit, I wanted to make sure that the whatever the cost is really kind of like a something expense too much. Like I just have to focus on that. Ki what is actually kind of like a stuff that cost me so much? Like it just say rent or salary or whatever it is. How do I supposed to tackle that situation? Okay, yeah. Let's just imagine that. Ki let's just say that the I'm kind of like a spending so much amount of money on salary. Okay, yeah, so I have to make sure that who are those employee who is taking so much amount of salary and things like that. I need to understand their rules and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. If I'm not earning that much profit, then it is kind of like somebody really essential me to kind of like somebody understand them key, giving them lot more responsibility. Okay, if it is not, then probably I have to be make sure that key, no, I'm not gonna fire them. Definitely not. Okay, I don't want to fire them, but I will kind of like a something, like it's like I can't do kind of like a something that ki minimize the salary. No, nothing at all. But if I wanted to hire a kind of like a some sort of person, I wanted to make sure that that person is kind of like a something valuable and generate profit to my company or not. Okay, yeah. If that particular person is not actually providing me that much, like if that particular person is not providing me that much amount of value in my company and things like that, then probably or the behavior of that particular person is not really good, adding kind of like a somebody always negativity and things like that to the company or to the team, then probably it is really essential me to fire that particular person, because it not only affect my profit, but as also it kind of like a somebody affect my space, affect the people who is actually working there or working there. Okay, yeah. So it is really matter to me to people who are kind of like a somebody being productive, as well as kind of like a something like that ki they are really valuable to my company. If they are not, then I have to make sure that that person should not supposed to be welcome in my company. Okay, yeah. So kind of like a somebody that I would gonna do this thing. Okay, yeah. Or else like if there is a kind of like a somebody, I found a kind of like a somebody person who is kind of like a bit more value, or he was adding so much value to my company, then I will gonna give the promotion to that particular person, because it's really matter to me the company. And at only no, not only for promoting, but it kind of like a giving the boost to the other people that key, if they wanted to get succeed in their career or kind of like a gain the promotion in my company, do the kind of like a work as good as possible as I can, being a profit or kind of like add some values to the company and things like that. So if I kind of like a do this technique or tactic, kind of like a somebody, I'm not only kind of like a controlling the money that I'm spending on salary, but as well as kind of like a add a value in my company, or kind of like a somebody remove the such a thing which is kind of like a decrease the value or kind of like a, yeah. So this is the kind of like a stuff that I will gonna do. Okay, yeah. Another thing is that if I'm kind of like a spending so much amount of money on rent, so I wanted to make sure that I we have to be kind of like a something build our own place. Okay, yeah. So if we have built our own place, then we shouldn't supposed to be pay the rent. Okay, yeah. Electricity is always be there. Okay, yeah, like if we run the business, electricity will always be there. Okay, yeah, so I have to make sure that the in my company, like electricity should supposed to be utilized little less. Okay, yeah, there are multiple ways to kind of like do those things by installing the solar panel. Okay, yeah, because solar panel is a kind of like a really good to kind of like minimize the electricity bills and stuff like that. Okay, or it might be kind of like a little bit helpful because I'm living in India, and sunlight exposure in India is too much. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna utilize that. Okay. Another thing is that ki, is there a kind of like a some expenses, is there electricity expenses are kind of like a something too much, so I have to make sure that minimize that expenses, means like that ki um like a entire building is actually attached with the CFL bulb, not a kind of like a something. CFL bulb is a kind of like a really good to saving the electricity, as well as kind of like a giving the light for very long period of time. The life is also really good, so CFL bulb is also really essential for me to saving the electricity. AC will always be there, definitely. I want to kind of like a people will kind of like a work in the AC environment, because AC is kind of like a giving them little bit of something feel really good, and it kind of like a somebody increase the productivity, definitely, yes. So yeah, AC will be really good, but I wanted to make sure that if the room there is no one, then AC should supposed to be automatically shut down, because I don't want to be kind of like a shutdown like a no, nothing at all. AC should supposed to be automatically, because it's a kind of like something really wrong gesture. Like basically the employee of the people will kind of like consider me that ki how conjuice how conjuice am I, or how kind of like a something, yeah. So I don't want to be that. Okay, so basically I just wanted to install such a AC will kind of like a something work according to the people, according to kind of like a something surrounding situation. And if there is no one use, then probably I have to be shut down the AC and things like that. Probably I will not gonna do that thing, probably not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like also another thing is that ki what kind of like assembly cost is really required me to build that product or things and something like that. So yeah. uh Another thing, there is also one thing that I wanted to use is that ki I wanted to integrate my application more and more to the AI, not only with the AI but as well as kind of like assembly. If I wanted to build that particular application, I wanted to make sure that keep the person who is actually capable to build my application is through the AI, because AI is a kind of like a something really good, really efficient in multiple ways. Okay, yeah. Okay, I just kind of like a get kind of like a little bit of experience, because like a almost like a yesterday or day before yesterday, I just kind of like a using the Replit is a kind of like a something AI agent AI agent, kind of like a something this that you can develop your application or website or things like that, and it can do automatically by itself. Okay, you just don't have to do anything, you just have to put the prompt and things like that. It kind of like a something increase the efficiency of not only me but as well as my company and everything. So I want to make sure that ki whoever the person that I will gonna hire, that person should supposed to be capable enough to understand the AI, and capable enough to kind of like know how does AI works, and kind of like a somebody how does he, yeah, how does he kind of like a somebody use AI to kind of like improve the efficiency of my app in very less amount of time, because AI is really essential, and I wanted to hire such a person who is kind of like capable enough to understand the AI and things like that. As well as that person should supposed to be know that ki how does in backend system, how does things actually work. Okay, like basically if I wanted to build the application, so I need a kind of like a person who knows the AI about, who knows the AI regarding about how should we supposed to create application through the AI. Also I need to know, I need a kind of like a person who also understand regarding about how coding and things like that. Okay, yeah, because in the end that the AI work is kind of like a something will cross question or kind of like a something cross verify through the AI, through the humans and things like that. So there are a lot of things. Okay, yeah, but I wanted to make sure, I wanted to hire such a person who is kind of like a capable enough to understand the AI and things like that, because it's kind of like a, this is, if I use this technique, it's kind of like a something very cost efficient for me, because the person efficiency, the person will gonna use the AI will kind of like improve his efficiency almost like a more than 100%. Another thing is that key, because of the every person in my team is actually using the AI, that means they are kind of like a 5% of the people are kind of like a doing 100% of job. Yeah, like a basically 100% is kind of like a doing the same work which kind of like a do the all the 5 people can do. So this is kind of like a something very cost efficient for me. Like I don't want to hire almost like a 95 or a 95 people. No, I just have to hire only 5 people who is actually capable enough to understand the AI as well as the kind of like a something the coding and things like that, so that I would kind of like rely on them, and which is kind of like something really efficient for me. So I wanted to kind of like simply use those people. I wanted to hire those people. Okay, yeah. So this is the stuff that kind of like simply matter to me to kind of like improve my business and improve the profit and things like that, as well as profit too. If I wanted to improve the profit, then I wanted to make sure that what kind of like a something the step that I'm doing in my application, that people are kind of like a willing to love watching kind of like a something uh, artifact or kind of like a subscription and things like that. So I wanted to make sure what kind of like a task that led them to kind of like a subscribe my kind of like a subscribe my platform or things like that. So if the person is kind of like if the some sort of activity that kind of like people are resonate more and more to subscribe, I wanted to increase that kind of like a some activity or things like that. But still I wanted to be kind of like a being really ethical, means like that ki, like let's just imagine that ki my application is the sexual topic, like if the person so much amount of profit from the sexual topic, the should I supposed to promote the sexual topic more and more? No, I don't want that. Okay, if I do that thing, then probably the my application would be kind of like a consider as a people will talk about the sexual stuff. I don't want that too. Okay, I don't want that. Okay, yeah. So obviously is this thing that I have to be control the every factor regarding about how do you supposed to control and everything. And I wanted to make sure that the profit should be supposed to be generated with very good way. Okay, not just kind of like a some sexual way or anything at all, but yeah, like I know that his sexual experience is also really good, also really great, and everyone should supposed to be express their thought regarding about sexual things. Yeah, but if they are continue kind of like somebody expressing this thought again and again, then probably this is not really good, because not everyone is kind of like a doing a sex every single day. No, nothing really at all. And if that person is kind of like a doing it, that particular person might be a kind of like a porn star or anything at all. Yeah, in reality people are kind of like a doing a sex once in a week or twice in a week, that's it. Okay, yeah. And probably sex is a kind of like a thing that a kind of like a somebody work. Okay, yeah, at the first time you might have kind of like a some certain things to say, but it just like after you kind of like a regular, then probably sex is a kind of like a somebody workout that you just kind of like a somebody just do the things and that's it. It's a kind of like a somebody that you going to the fancy gym. At first day you are really excited and you are talk about things to the other, that what is actually gym offering me and things and that. But if you went there to the gym for almost like a year, then probably the you don't really talk about the gym all the time. Okay, because it's kind of like a somebody everyday stuff. Okay, so this is what kind of like a somebody sex is that about. Okay, yeah. So I don't want to be kind of like a somebody promote such a kind of like a topic that which is wrong and that kind of like add some sort of profit to my company. No, I don't want that. Okay, yeah. I wanted to make sure that the value, like what is actually like a, this artifact is a kind of like a giving the value from every point of perspective, not only the sexual but every point of perspective. Every topic is a kind of like a simply really good. People are really love to talk about the stuff and stuff, and I wanted to kind of like a something talk about. I wanted to kind of like let them talk about such a stuff that kind of like add the value regarding about everything, regarding about the business that they want, the study that they want, the career that they want to choose, or they wanted to express some sort of thoughts regarding about the person, they are fall in love with some particular person and things like that. They wanted to express their things. Okay, yeah. What is actually kind of like a something uh, thought process regarding about the politics, or what kind of like a thinking about the economics, what kind of like a thinking about their brain, medical science, what is actually space, astrology, or kind of astrology, no, sorry, astrophysics, not astrology. No. If the person wanted to talk about the astrology, they will also talk about this thing, because it is also kind of like a people I love to talk. Yeah, but it just like I wanted to kind of like a giving them kind of like a somebody value that they wanted to kind of like a somebody want to do this thing. Okay, yeah. And I don't want to kind of like use any kind of like a dirty business technique to kind of like a something improve my business and increase my profit. No, I don't want that thing. Yeah, it's not okay. So yeah, this is kind of like a some stuff that I know regarding about numbers and things like that, but still I am not really capable enough to understand the numbers, because it's kind of like a something always be a like a really a sub particular topic that I can't really understand that much. So I might gonna hire a kind of like a person, or maybe my CFO will kind of like a somebody person would kind of like understand the number that much well, and I will gonna trust him blindly regarding about this and that. Okay, yeah, but still at the early business, number is really matter. Number is in every business, number is really matter. And I think that okay, I have to be more aware of the number of things like that. Okay, yeah. Right now I am not really that much aware, but in the future I have to know about what exactly number means to it, and what exactly matter to it or not. All right, yeah, but still this is what it is. So this is my kind of like a something thoughts about the numbers and business numbers and stuff like that. All right, thank you.